Right. I hope my sound and screen is clear. Can you give me feedback if my sound and my screen is clear? Update me if my sound and my screen is clear. Update me there, update me there. Right. I have clear, beautiful, 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 wonderful. Right, let me just wait a minute. I think a minute or two as others are joining. Then we start immediately and not waste any time. Right, let me see how many people are here now. We have 9 people, we have 10 people. We have let me see. 2 more minutes, 2 more minutes, 2 more minutes, 2 more minutes. Let's see. We have 11 people now. I think we can actually start. Those who come late, it's on their own now. Right. So this is one of the current trade positions that I'm currently is a Nasdaq sell. Kindly mute your mics, please. So this is one of the trade positions that I'm currently holding on my side. We also shared the idea in the mentorship class in the morning. I also shared the trade idea that obviously I'm anticipating sales beyond obviously this to this level here. Right. So someone might not understand how the trade was taken and whatever. And remember, the most important thing of today's session is so that I give you a heads up of what I'm mainly anticipating for next week. So let me start with US 30. US 30 and Nasdaq. I think I also mentioned this in the mentorship class that US 30 and Nasdaq, they have so very beautiful structures for next week. Very beautiful trade structures for next week. Yesterday we were around where were we? I think we were around this level here, right? And they did we were actually around here, I think we were around this around these areas here. Yesterday, I think we were actually here, if I remember correctly, around this region here. And the market, it actually did kind of bought. Please mute your mics. I don't know who is this. Right. So it actually did buy, but didn't sustain all the way here to okay, let me just delete everything like this so that we go to the main idea of the coming week, what we are looking forward to, the move that we're basically looking forward to. So next week is a very interesting week, honestly speaking, because there's something that USD has done that has been failing to do since January, which is to shift structure to the downside. So that shifting of structure to the downside is going to there's a major bearish move that is going to happen, mainly targeting, obviously our first target is the extreme there. We also have I said focus on GU, EU, and gold. Aye, that's your own thing. That's your own decision, man. That's your own decision. So those are some of the levels that we are coming towards, right? Those are my major levels that I'm going to be looking forward to for those sales to come to. Even if I apply Fibonacci from the bottom to the top, there is also an alignment here, 50% alignment also here. So there's actually an alignment also looking even at the Fibonacci thing. So yeah, it actually bounced. If you watched the video, my last video on YouTube right now, you discover that I even spoke about US 30 coming to bounce, coming to bounce on that level. I did speak about it, that it's actually going to continue with that internal whatever up until they touch this level before the reversal to the downside. So here they've done a shift to the downside, which is literally here. If I'm marking it based on a daily time frame, that's the shift to the downside. So now we now need an upside shift. If you go to higher time frames like your 8 hour, you'll see beautiful, beautiful things there. You'll see an extreme supply area there, which is almost where I'm anticipating it to reach. This one, yeah, they can come and give a reaction there, but not necessarily to just drop from there overally. So they can tap there, give a small slight rejection, then obviously wipe everything out and maybe come to the extreme. Those are the two major levels that I'm looking forward to US30 to come as of next week. So here, the current structure we are having, we have changed character to the downside. Us changing character to the downside, like what has happened here, we have changed character to the downside, which is the beginning of the major bearish pullback that I think I've been talking about since January. I think since January around here, I actually was anticipating it, right? But it never happened because structure never broke to the downside. It kept on being bullish, kept on being bullish. They broke structure here. That was a break. That was a break. They were just breaking the highs, breaking the highs, breaking the highs. And they kept on doing that. They broke here. After breaking there, they came there, they broke there, they came here, they didn't take that out. They broke there, they came there, they didn't take that. So they broke there. So up until now, that move that I've been waiting for, it has actually come to to life or to pass. So now all we need to the upside is this confirmation. Obviously, other people already they are in buys already, which is not a problem because there are confirmations that have happened already on the lower time zones. 5 minute, lowest time frame there, 5 minute, even 15 minute. There are some confirmations that have happened already. That could have even given you these buy entries from there. So now all we now need, because looking at this internal structure, remember it has been bearish since the end of March there. That's a lower low, internal lower low, lower high, lower low there, lower high, lower low. Our lower high is this one. So this is our last lower low. So in order for them to give us this pullback, they have to wipe out this, maybe give you a slight pullback into a level. Then they go, they go, they go, they go, they go. Once they come here, they can even give you a slight. Obviously my major anticipation is always the extreme. From there, we'll also anticipate huge swing sales to the downside. So for next week, it's basically swing pullback buys that we are looking forward to, especially once they wipe out that level. So even if I go to lower time frames, the level is still the same. On 4 hours, still the same level that they have to take out. So if I'm just applying my analysis, my main analysis or my full analysis there on the 4 hour, I can even end there as well. Because once we take out that level to the upside, obviously those that are aware of terminologies that we use, institutional terminology that we use, you know that will be an upside inducement, basically an inducement to the upside or a market structure shift to the upside, whatever you want to call it. But so long you know its purpose and how you are going to respond to it. So mainly I'm looking forward for the market to give me a slight pullback into this region. Once we wipe to the upside, once we wipe there to the upside and come like this, even if they don't do, even if they don't push all the way there, even if they just close above here, then they pull back into this region, or even around here where there is this imbalance, then the lower time frame shift that will get there on that region, that will be our entry. Then we'll be targeting this. That's a short-term TP, but mainly I want us to hold all the way. Once you master the art of holding all the way, that's how you can only see the maximum potential of understanding what's the happenings of the market. You basically see even the power of you mastering the whole entire trading thing. So yeah, that's the main analysis for next week. Those that can take screenshots, you can take screenshots because this video, it depends. Now we'll see if ever we're going to put it on YouTube before Monday. We'll see about that. But for now, you can even take screenshots of that. This is the move that we're anticipating for next week. Then after that, obviously after tapping that region, obviously we anticipate a shift again to the downside, which will give us also swing sales to the downside. So these are the two major moves that we are looking forward to US30 as we are ending April and also getting into May, right? These are the two major moves that we're currently having right now on US30. Remember, institutions, when they are moving price, they can move price in one order flow or in one direction for a month, and even 2 months, flowing in one order flow, one direction. Just here, this was literally, I think, around two, 2 to 3 weeks of just pushing in this bearish order flow like this, right? Imagine now if ever you had the understanding, like for example, let's say upon that inside shift, let's say on lower time frames, obviously you could have gotten an earlier entry from there. Then here, this could have been your short-term target. Once they come there, you just identify structure. Structure still bearish. Here, you notice that they took out that low. Immediately upon taking out that low, those were signs already that they are now bearish. Obviously, you would have been looking at this change of character as a, if ever they failed to change character, they were going to simply shift here and keep on buying like this, right? So they actually approached that level, approached that zone. They kept on maintaining the same thing, same thing, same thing. So next week, once we come Monday and we do this shift here, just wait for a slight pullback. Once you get that pullback on your lower time frames, then you strike. So coming back to even the entries that you could have even entered today. Yes, let me go to 30 minutes. Right. So yesterday, even the idea of selling also, like from here, obviously, we're in buys, which was there was nothing wrong with the buys there because here it after here it bought here, came back again, it bought. We actually did make money with buys on US 30. Uh, these ones as well as these ones. Then as they came back here now, they didn't sustain that. They actually now shifted. They actually took out this level here. So immediately upon taking out that level to the downside now, because here the idea was here went up, went up, went up. That was one leg, right? Then they came down. So yeah, they went up, they came down, they went up again, they came down here. So the idea there was if they maintain this, they were actually going to come for this, right? But they didn't maintain that. So how did we know that that was now time to sell? That's why I told you, even I've been telling you almost for a long time now that analysis is something that is progressive. If you don't understand how markets move, even if we come and do a projection like this, if the markets do anything that we said or whatever, or even anything that we didn't say, because you don't understand the progressive nature of analysis, you might find yourself missing certain entries or even. So yeah, immediately upon taking out this level, that was actually a selling opportunity. You could have just put your stop loss maybe up here. Then your TP, obviously, you're targeting this demand here that I spoke about, that they have to go and tap that level before. So that was how simple that entry was. Even if you go to 15 minute, it was also very clear and self-explanatory. Even if you were using that, or even if you use this one, you could have also even entered just upon the break to the downside there. Obviously, stop loss could have been maybe around here or just above there so that you're not wiped out. So both of those entries were sell entries that were basically safe according to structure, right? Same thing here. The buys also, when they made this low, made this high, immediately after tipping our level, them doing that shift there. If you go to 5 minute or even 10 minute, let's see 10 minute. Okay, 10 minute is also clear, right? You can literally see that they did take it out there. So them taking out like that, that was also another easy buy entry there. Stop loss here, or even just here, or just there. Wait, rightfully has to be. So here, your TP obviously is around that level where we're anticipating that upside shift to happen according to our higher time frame structure. So that's where we're anticipating our shift to happen, because after that shift, most probably we're going to have a pullback. So that pullback can even come in this level. And also on the 1 hour, I have also a slight a level here, which is I have a demand as well as a fair value gap, which is here around this level here on the 1 hour. There's a slight, but the fair value gap has been tapped, so we can literally put this on the demand like this. So most probably they can even pull back all the way into this 1 hour. That's a very good demand, if you ask me, a very good demand area. So that one could have been your first TP, but obviously we're anticipating them to break. Okay. But even if you're targeting that was still a hit like that. If you're just focusing on 1 hour, someone might not understand what things to look out for if ever you're entering a trade based on 1 hour, which is some of the things that are going to be discussing in the 7 day class that are going to be having from the 23rd of April up until the 30th of April. There are things that once you understand them, for example, here, if I just want to trade on the 1 hour, I can even literally show you here the shift. I can even see where it happened there. So obviously now looking at the 1 hour time frame, someone you could have even entered there. Obviously, stop loss is just below, or even if I entered here after this candle, After this candle closed, and then I enter my buy there, I could have even put my stop loss here. That that trade setup is very correct according to institutional understanding. Very correct and very, 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 very too correct, too much correct. So those are some of the things that we're going to be addressing also in that serious class that we're going to be having from the 23rd of April. So there next week we're anticipating this pull back there. So it can actually literally pull back around here. If it doesn't pull back here, we'll be looking forward to another level around up there. One of these levels, that's where they're going to pull back. So those ones who like to enter those counter positions, you can even wait for that lower time frame to shift on those levels. Once it shifts, the same way they shifted here, once it shifts to those levels, you can actually literally take those sales to the downside. If you take those sales downside, once they enter into this region and they shift to the upside, you now enter those swing buys, which you're anticipating to hold for a very long time next week. So next week, that's the major main idea behind US30. Very, very beautiful structure and very beautiful setup. It's different from this week. This week, if you notice, literally, it has been playing in this one region here. It has been playing in this zone here the whole week. Obviously, that it just did this sweep to the downside, but it was just literally playing in one area like that. There was sort of like indecision involved and whatever, but it wasn't really, we can't really say those were really, really crazy setups that happened this week. Then there's nothing crazy. Most of the crazy setup that we're going to have is next week, especially on US 30 and NASDAQ, because the confirmations here, we just want, once the market closes above here, once Monday comes and we close above here, take note of these two zones. One of them, they are going to reverse. Once they reverse, come into your level. Once they also give you that lower time from confirmation, you take those swing buys to the upside. So US30, that's it. Very straightforward to the point. Nothing much to even complicate things or whatever. So that was a simple sell that I think I also gave the trade idea in the mentorship class in the morning. That Nasdaq, we are just looking forward for some sales there, blah blah blah, and etc etc. So yeah, Nasdaq almost a similar thing to US30, major break of structure. After the major break, that's the internal break. So most likely, if ever we're going to pull back, obviously the first pullback that we look out for is the internal break, because if they come to the internal structure and they fail to change the internal structure, it definitely means that they are still going to maintain the overall move that they were basically doing, which is the push the upside. So if they come here now and take out this level, most probably they will now be coming for the swing legs like that. So our first area where we are anticipating this sales to drop from, what I'm telling you now, you come back to you realize weeks later that it actually happened exactly as I'm telling you now. I'm telling you now so that I prepare your mind and so that I can, if you give I can give you hints of trades to even hold for a long time and not necessarily come out of them. It's not every trade that you just need to enter and come out. No, there are other trade opportunities that require you to even hold. For others, they demand even for you to hold for days, others for weeks and whatever. So that's the shift to the downside here. They failed to shift. They were not shifting all the way even they were not even shifting, not shifting, not shifting, not shifting. They now came here, they now did the shift. So next week, obviously, you anticipate a pullback here before the continuation to the downside into the region. Once you tap the region, you understand. So next week, our main opportunity is the swing pullback, swing reversal buys. Then after that, we'll look forward to swing. So here, this is the level that I'm still anticipating Nasdaq to tap onto. I also shared this idea also with my guys in the mentorship class there. So just marking things here based on the daily, you can even mark things like this. Obviously, when you go lower, you get more clarity, but just looking at this. So I'm looking forward to next week, Monday, it can still push into this level. The same way US30 pushed into that level before, giving you a shift to the upside. So this is what I'll be expecting next week, Monday. Pull, swing buys, then swing sells. Swing buys, then swing sells. So Nasdaq, even the idea of selling, I even spoke about it. I spoke about it for a long time. As it was selling even inside there, I showed you so many structures that were even so bearish to the to the downside, even up there. So that was an adjustment to the downside like that. Then there was a break of structure, break of structure. Then they just came here, played around with structure, but mainly This is a much fully confirming change of character to the downside, of which it's on a very higher time frame. There's no way you can say, it's fake out or whatever. No, you can't. Rarely do you find such things happening, especially on. So yeah, I have two levels that I'm looking forward to. There's this 8 hour level, and there's also that one that is above it, which is this one. So those are my two main levels that I'm looking forward to for those reversal buys to come onto. So even for a TP, that's why I said even the reversal buys, once the confirmations have happened, you need to hold those buys all the way. All you will be doing along the way, you can just scale in if ever there's any opportunity to scale in. Clear, clean structure. If ever is there to scale in, you can literally scale in. So those are two of my levels, major levels that I'm looking forward to. So Nasdaq, I'm still looking forward to this. Still looking forward to this. Here on the 4 hour. Yeah, yeah, it's basically that region. It's basically that region. So once they take out this law, it means they'll have to also, in this case, they'll have to come and take out this level here in order for them to give those swing. Uh, so the idea of even sales today, it was so clear also. It's coming from everything that talking about, right? Everything that I'm talking about, it's actually that's where the whole idea of selling. I didn't just go to a lower time frame and just started selling out of thin air. No, these are ideas that they back each other up. They back each other up. They literally back each other up. Here, this was the bearish confirmation. Here, you could have actually taken your sales there. Sell. All these lower high points that I are here, or all selling opportunities. That was a low, that was a high, that was a low. If you go to lower time frames, you could have even gotten a confirmation here. Same thing here. Even here, the confirmation of today, it was also there on lower time frames. So we're anticipating this. Once we tap there, then we anticipate also and we expect the reversal to the upside. Right. So looking at the 1 hour, if ever you even wanted to enter trades using the 1 hour, this break, if you're just using the 1 hour, or obviously on the lower time frames, you can even see the break up there before even this one. So whether you get it up there on a lower time frame, you could have sold there. If you got it there, you could even sell that, but obviously stop loss is bigger there. Here, you can see it's there. So them closing below there, because they haven't taken out our major level, and also they haven't tapped our major demand there on the highest time frame. Obviously, we're still anticipating them to keep selling. So all those were simple selling opportunities that were presented on Nasdaq. Basically, this whole week, basically, it was a very simple. I can't say there was anything complicated to say. Nasdaq played around with us, played with our minds, blah blah blah. It, looking at being honest from an institutional perspective and everything, it was literally giving all those clean trade setups to the downside. There was a sell there. Okay, let's come to today. Today, they first tapped this demand. That's the first thing. This supply, I mean. Then after tapping the supply area, if you go to 30-minute, right, they tap the supply area like that. After tapping our supply area, okay, someone could have sold there, but obviously stop loss is too big like that. But now, the idea now behind this trade where you find that your main setup is there on 30-minute or 1 hour. There you can even go as far as 5 minutes, as far as 10 minutes, just for you to identify that shift to the upside up there. Because the only way you can enter that trade with clarity up there is once you identify that shift accurately also on the lowest time frames. Because there, if you just play around with 1 hour or 30 minutes, you're never going to see clearly this shift that happened there. So that was the shift, that was the pullback. Immediately here, upon the shift, you could have sold. Even upon the pullback, you could have added more sales. Your stop loss is just tight here. That's a low, that's a high. So even after breaking this low, you could have sold. Stop loss is above here, right? That's a new low, that's a high. When you take out this low, you could have even sold. Stop loss above there. That's a new high. That's a new, once you take out the low, you could have sold. Stop loss above there. That's a new. So you see now, you see now, that whole progression, it's something that once you really master and you understand all those dynamics, there's nothing like I've heard. Obviously, you've been told over and over, forex is hard, forex is difficult. I know you have heard all those things, but uh, with understanding now, once you now gain understanding, it gets easier and easier. Forex gets easier and easier with understanding, with mastery, and also with you perfecting the skill, perfecting the art. It always gets easier and easier. The only time it's hard, it's when you don't know what's going on, what's really happening, when you can't even understand what is really going on here. That's the only time that forex is hard, right? That's the only time it's hard. That's the only time it's hard. So that was a simple entry there. So if ever you were just maybe on the 30-minute like this, right? Obviously, other people, there are things that you are not really educated about that you must look out for if ever you are going to enter even on the 30-minute. Let's say I wanted to enter on the 30-minute, right? Let me just give you a brief of some of the things that we're going to be talking about in the 7-day class. So here, that's a high. The high and the low of this candle, I actually look at that as a high. That's the higher high, that's the higher low, that's the higher high, that's the higher low. Because this structure is just an internal structure of this whole movement. So there's no need for me to even go to the 8 hour to confirm what I'm doing here. That's a higher high, that's a higher low, that's a higher high, that's a higher low here. This is the same high. That's a higher high, that's a higher low. That's a higher high, that's a higher low. Where's my last higher high? Is there? My last higher low is here. So they actually literally took out my level there. You see? So if I was just looking at the 30-minute, this sell was even safe just here after taking out this, after this candle, after the board of this candle closed below my region. If I go to 15-minute, obviously it will be higher. It will definitely be higher. It will definitely be earlier. That was the break there. My last higher low on the 15-minute was this one. So after breaking this, you would have ended there. Stop loss is just here. Those are some of the crazy entries that once you master, even the art of going aggressive, there are moments that even demand that once you master, and once you master, you definitely have moments where you definitely know that from here we're going down. Definitely, it's a definite thing. Definitely, we're going down. From here, we're going up. From here, we're going. So once you have all those things in mind, you definitely know that where to even go aggressively. You understand all of that. So gold as well now. Gold is the only pair I can say if I'm just looking at these three main pairs that I looked at. Gold is one of the main pairs that hasn't changed character to the downside, like what others have done, right? Which is something that I'm looking forward to. I'm actually looking forward to that. I'm actually looking forward to that with very serious eyes. So that was the last break, and we can also see some other inside breaks here. So even if it's going to pull back, obviously you anticipate it to pull back first into an inside level before it comes to maybe an external level. So before it comes even to external levels like those, you always anticipate it to pull back into an inside level. So those are some of the levels that we're anticipating to. Once we're now pulling back, those can be some of the levels that we anticipate to for the market to either bounce from. So you're putting my Fibonacci there, it makes sense. There, it makes sense. All of these levels, they make sense, especially the 61.81, this one. So there, that's the highest price. And if you notice on the daily, there's no more price action up there. The only price action that you cannot get is on the lower time frames. Even if you go to 8 hour, there's no structure shift to the downside like what others have done. So all we now need on gold for sales is the structure shift to the downside here. Our current higher low is still this one, right? It's still this one. So long we haven't taken out that high. This one is not yet qualified as a higher low. So once you see gold doing like what these others have done, like this, definitely know that the next week after that one, you will be anticipating obviously pullback before a continuation. So even this drop now, it has to have solid confluences on the lower time frame. Just to have solid confluence on the lower time frame. I showed you even the last week candle, how it was rejecting a certain level. This one. Yes, but this one, it literally didn't also reject because we were left with 2 hours for it to close, but it's still also below this level. So we can literally say that there is also still a possibility of the market also dropping to the downside. So here now you can literally see that here, that's a high, that's a low, that's a high. Here, this is one high, this is one low, that's one high, that's one low. So if they maintain this now, if they keep maintaining this, they can even take this out. But if they don't take this out now and they now shift inside there, that's how you know that they can actually flow like this up until they shift here. Once they shift that, they can come back to wipe out all this trend line liquidity that they would have gathered, then they drop. So gold, you just need to. There's nothing interesting lately. I can't say there's anything to say. This is a high probability setup or whatever. There's nothing like that as lately on gold because it has reached its highest high and just playing around now, playing around with structure. So even inside there, you are just following this inside structure. You are buying, but at the back of your mind, you're also aware that price is at its highest high, and we can't just keep on going up and up and up until when? Without any even if it's going to be a small reversal or even an inside reversal there. And definitely we actually look out for that. So your trend line traders, obviously they would have drawn some trend lines there. Let's see if ever there's anything that can but all those things they are useless if structure doesn't shift. Your trend line, even if it's touched, the idea of saying, once we touch, you enter. No, that's not the idea. You don't just enter because the market has touched your trend line. You only enter if ever structure changes. Gold on 30-minute looks like it did choke to the upside. There's no choke, man. Those are breakout structures. It's not a choke to the upside. Those are breakout structures to the upside. It has been breaking the structures, so it's not a choke. It's only a choke when it's now to the opposite. So it also looks sense in this way, whereby so the only important thing there is not even this trend line that I put. I just put this just to see most likely where structure can change. So once structure changes there next week, definitely we'll get some beautiful cells. Those beautiful cells, we'll take them nicely, obviously with confirmation and everything. Then once we tap these regions, it can even break there. If it wants to come here, it can even break the come here, then keep on going up. So just those regions, we just need to look out for structure and see how it's going to behave. Are you doing VIX 75 as well? No, no. I'm not doing VIX 75 for the sake of my time. I'd maybe tomorrow, with the class and whatever, we'll do it. Those other pairs as well that we didn't do today, we'll do them tomorrow. So long it's a currency pair, we know that the markets are closing today, so there's no hurry. We'll do them tomorrow, those ones that we didn't do today. So this is one thing that we're looking forward on gold. So gold, we are just playing around there on the lower time frames here. We are here. So now let's go to 1 hour, 30 minutes. That's the main structure that we're basically looking at. There's nothing too deep there. So here you literally see that structure is basically still pushing up. Here we can literally see that this is an adjustment, then that is a break, like that. Like this. What else? So here they just maintained structure. They shifted the upside here. They made this higher low, higher low. They even after the break, they literally failed to take out this level. If they'd taken out this level, they were basically going to sell from there, but they didn't take it out fully. So that's a level that eventually even here when they came, they failed to take it out as well. So gold, you still need to wait for clean price action to come in before you jump into any positions. That one was talking about choke to the upside, unless you're talking about that shift to the upside. Can you touch on EU? I would do it tomorrow. Hey, these markets are closing already in 2 hours now. So there's no hurry for you to even say for you to even enter a trade in this it doesn't even make sense. So here so they can still even maybe come inside here and still push up, but even the pushing up, I'm not really much interested now in whatever that's mostly happening now. I'm mostly interested obviously in sales, but even though as I'll be taking those buys, we take them, but with caution, with no crazy risks as yet, up until we now have clean structure downside, no crazy risks. So I would love them to do this if ever they're going to sell. Come up there, wipe this level down. then they can now give us some clean structures with downside. That's mainly what we're looking for to go on gold. So looking at those three pairs, you literally see that those two are most likely also going to be, I believe, by Monday or Tuesday or so. I believe we would have gotten this confirmation that is clean to the upside for major main buys. Nasdaq still has selling potential. You see what is happening. You see what's happening. Still has selling potential to the downside. Still has a lot of selling potential. Just to here, it's not even a lot. If I say a lot, I'll be I'll be exaggerating. But that's the idea there. It's actually gave some simple selling positions there. Some simple selling positions. Let me go to the 4 hour. Let me just show you something on the 1 hour as well that you could have also helped you to catch this. So on the 1 hour, the shift it actually happened here to the downside. So even waiting for this candle to close, entering there, putting your stop loss above this high of this candle. That was also how you would have even entered it just by looking at the 1 hour structure. So to an extent that when you check out the low of this one, check out the low like that. That's a so like this. So yeah, that's a lower high. That's a lower low. They came back to the lower high, tempered with the lower high. They would have also scaled in more cells around here. That's not a resistance area for someone. So someone who might think, so he's now drawing a resistance. No, this is simply structure that I'm plotting. It's not a resistance. Hey, just in case tomorrow someone will say, this guy was talking support and the resistance. No, no, it's too deep than than what you're even seeing now. So that was a very simple sell position all the way from the top there. Simple selling positions that were actually. So next week is a very profitable week. I'm basically anticipating a seriously profitable week, especially on Nasdaq and US 30 because they've shifted structure already and everything. Another pair also that present, I'm going to show you also tomorrow. Tomorrow in the evening, we are going to have another session as well where we'll cover those other pairs that we didn't cover today. But personally, I don't trade all those other pairs, but I'll just look into them for some of you that trade them so that you also have an idea of what your pairs are going to be doing next week. EU next week, just to give a rough idea, which is Euro USD, next week we're mostly looking forward to a reversal swing buys. Also, GU as well is also preparing the same thing. So that's just an idea. You will see on the chart tomorrow why I'm saying those things. So next week it's basically a profitable week. You just need to make sure that you focus on as few pairs as possible and master those and make sure that you make the most out of those pairs that you'll be looking for, that you'll be trading. You don't need to trade every pair in order for you to make money on the market. You don't need to trade every pair. You just need to focus on focus on very few vital pairs. Those few vital pairs will definitely give you all the money that you want to make. There are some of my guys who basically trade Nasdaq only. Some of my guys they also trade US 30 only. Yo, others they just trade gold only. You understand? So it's not about increasing pairs to say, oh, so if I increase pairs, the more money I make. No, it's not like that. It's not like that. So next week it's a very beautiful week looking at Nasdaq and US 30. Gold, yes, gold. If you're going to be trading gold next week, please patiently wait for the things that I did speak about. If you're not patient with that, you'll just be wasting your money for nothing, right? On entering trade setup that are not fully ripe. So next week around these regions on US 30, we'll be looking forward for those short-term reversal sales around here. Then once you get those reversal sales, once you enter here, those are swing buys around this region. So guys, thank you for being here. Tomorrow, let's meet same time, same place. Those that are in the 7 day, that are joining the 7 day, see you also on the 23rd of April for those 7 days, powerful 7 days. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Right. So let us just look at some of the pairs that we didn't manage to look at yesterday. Let us just look at some of the pairs that we didn't manage to look into yesterday. Right. So without wasting much time, I think we can actually now start. Those that are not yet here, they'll catch us, they'll find us along the way. They'll find us along the way, along the way. Right. Let me go to some of the pairs, starting with I think GBPSG. This is crypto. We actually have some crypto coins that we are holding, so that's why I'm just checking here. Okay, all of them are doing well. All of them are doing well. But to spoke about USD, we spoke about gold, we spoke about NAS. We're not going to repeat that. Let's look into the DXY. The DXY, if you remember last week on the DXY, I did explain to you. If you were here last week, I did show you what we are looking forward to on the dollar index. All right. If you go to the weekly time frame like this, I think I showed you last week. Last week, uh, it was just like this. Then I say this next candle, most likely they are shooting up to touch there. Which the bias is still the same. Nothing has changed. I'm still looking forward to the same thing. So yeah, they can either keep on flying like this, or even next week just give you a pull back into this area before they go. Because if they do this, they can now maybe do something like this. So this week we might have a sort of like a pullback into this zone before a continuation on the dollar index. So we just need to confirm that with the lower time frames, 1 hour, 4 hour structure. Let's see if ever it's also saying the same similar thing. On the 4 hour, this is 4 hour. Let me go to 2 hour. Let me see if there's any shift that has happened as yet. So yeah, the only thing that I'm currently seeing right now is because here they have to wipe out this level to the downside in order for them to succeed. So once they manage to successfully do this, definitely they will be coming into this level. So them doing this pullback sells, that's the same time that our US 30 will be doing pullback buys alongside with Nasdaq doing the pullback buys. It's just like, yeah, that's the correlation basically that will be happening. So as this one will be selling like this, our US data and Nasdaq will be going up like that, as well as EU and GU that I'm about to show you now. You'll see that they also have some beautiful swing opportunities that you can actually maximize on. So now as we talked about it, I don't need to repeat that. So let's go to Mr. GU now. GU, simple structure, the same, almost the same idea that I shared with you yesterday. Oh, last week, I mean, whereby we actually can see that overall structure we are bearish. Both the external structure is bearish as well as the internal structure. If you're just looking maybe from a higher time frame perspective like this, we broke major structure there. After breaking that major structure, we had a pull back to the upside. After the pull back to the upside, which started here, we also now did shift to the downside. That's market structure shift to the downside, or you can, or what you guys can also call inducement, whatever. If it's in alignment, obviously, with order flow, some can even call it change of character like that, which is not a problem. So they literally tapped our zone there, and where are we targeting them now to come and take out this level? So basically, GU, I'm actually anticipating a very serious sells to the downside, something like this. this up until they wipe out this level like this, right? So that's just a rough idea on the weekly. But now when you go to the daily, obviously that's where you have obviously some bit of clean things to the downside. So yeah, that was the shift to the downside here, which is literally our change of character to the downside there. Obviously here to the left, those that can actually see that there's also a major change of character there. So this one is a minor one for that internal structure. So here for the external structure, just put this one like this. So it means for that current structure, this is our swing lower low. That's our swing lower high. And here, because of this, we now have also a swing lower high there. So it means now we're coming to check out the swing lower low, just like that. So that's the current target. And for them now to just keep on going like this, it's something that is not practical, whereby they can just keep on going straight without any form of pullback. In as much as there are other moments on other time frames, like if ever the time frame is like if you're looking at smaller time frames, there are moments like those where they can just go straight away. So yeah, there's a level that I'm actually seeing where it has tapped. That level that GU has tapped is a very sensitive level where I'm anticipating that pullback buy to happen. Next week, I'm basically anticipating a pullback on GU. Pullback before a continuation like this. That's a swing. That's actually a swing trade that you can take. Most likely they're going to respect around this level here. Most likely they will respect this level here, right? I'm just showing you how you can even mark structure based on these higher time frames, etc., etc. So next week, this is if ever I wanted to be someone who doesn't want to really share, I would have just given you structure like this and told you next week expect this and then drop. There are other people that are crazy to understand that they can just come and do that, but it's not necessary. Sometimes you need to go. Help is only help if ever you're going into all the full detail. You understand? So that level here, which is here, that's our level where we're going to get ourselves. But most likely next week is just reversal buys, reversal buys. Obviously here, if you're just looking at the daily, you can see that the level is literally inside here. So I can just put maybe something like this inside there. So they can even maybe still push just maybe for that Monday into this level. Once they push, then they bounce from there. But overall, we'll be anticipating them to tap at least. This is my first level that I'm looking forward for them to come. One of the major levels there, because if you're just looking at the daily, you realize that most of the levels there, they've been tapped up there. Most of the levels have been tapped up there. So they might not come all the way up there for anything. They might not come anywhere up there for anything, right? So that's our first level that we'll be anticipating. Our what? Our continuation cells from like there, right? So having said that now, what do you have to now do on Monday? On Monday, you can either wait for the market to tap inside here. Then once you get a clear shift, you enter those, I can say it's a swing reversal buys. They are swing reversal buys basically because um they're actually opposing our current order flow now, which is now bearish. Right. So that's the idea. That's the current idea. This was a law there. So once they shift structure here, that will now be a lower low. Then the purpose of coming up is basically to create a lower high around those regions there. So even if I add on more confluence to the idea, put my Fibonacci from the top there to the bottom here, yeah, it's actually a very good Fibonacci retracement level, 61.8 there. A very good one, a very good one. So that will be my first level of anticipation, which will actually basically be my first level of TP for those swing buys. So that will be basically be a very profitable, a very easy swing is the swing buy to the upside that you just need to take to look out for. So next week, Monday, the next candle you can just drop here into this level. Then once the lower time frames give you a proper shift of structure, once you get that proper shift of structure, know that our pullback, our swing reversal buys, they've actually begun. Once they've begun, You just need to maximize on them and hold all the way to the upside. So that's a trade that is worth taking. There's a fund the next competition on May. Please let the people in the group know, might be useful. I'll tell them. I'll tell them about that. A competition is useless if you have people that don't have knowledge. They'll just enter the competition and be disappointed at the end of the day. The most important thing is knowledge. With this knowledge, you might not even need to enter those final competitions where you have to, yeah, you can enter it for fun or whatever, but the most important thing is the skill. If you don't have the skill, you can enter all sorts of competitions that can be presented, but you won't see any result. So this is the main idea for next week on GU. Nothing much to emphasize there. You just need to wait for the next candidate to enter this region. Once they enter that region, then you just identify that structure shift to the upside, especially on your 1 hour, 1 hour, 30 minutes. Yeah, once you see your structure shift there, then you can actually now enter the swing buys. I'll show you how what I mean by structure shift, because on Euro USD it has actually happened already. So, which is an advantage. Euro USD it has actually done the thing already. So GU, that's the thing. Nothing much to emphasize. That's all for next week on GBP USD. Euro USD, same idea, almost moving in the same way with our GU, whereby we had a major break to the downside. We did a major pullback. Then we also did a shift to the downside, which is here. And that shift to the downside, we're now looking forward to take out this leg here. That's our TP for those cells, but obviously they will come. Obviously, they won't come in a straight line. Break, pull back, up until maybe up until they take out that leg there. So this year, basically, most likely, GU, EU, US 30, NASDAQ, most likely for the next coming weeks and months, most likely. Obviously, I'm excluding this pullback that is going to happen next week. But talking overally, like I'm anticipating serious sells to the downside on all those pairs, even gold as well. Gold, it hasn't changed characters yet, but I'm actually anticipating it to change character anytime soon this week. I'm actually anticipating gold to change character to the downside. So that's an idea that might actually literally help you to also know what to expect, as well as to also know where to fire your bullets whilst you are trading throughout. It's a good thing for you to trade whilst you are aware where that pay is going overally, and also aware where it's going even in the short term. So it's actually a good thing. It's a very, very, very good thing. So that was an adjustment, that was a break, then that was a change of character to the downside, which is literally here. So now, after having changed character, they also did pullback. They also did pullback, and that pullback, it literally ended. So now we actually have our first break of structure to the downside, which is this. Which, if you notice your GU right now currently, it has just finished changing character, right? So this pullback, this is what I'm showing you on GU that you must actually take advantage of, right? Before it drops. So on EU, it has happened already. Seems like EU is actually ahead of GU. It's actually moving ahead of GU. So yeah, they've tapped most of the levels. Most of the levels have been tapped on the daily. So right now, my current focus is this level here or that area there. That's my first main focus, right? On EU. So going further on to 8 hour and 4 hour, you literally realize that we did a structure shift to the upside on the 8 hour time frame, which is literally this, right? Was that was a clean breakdown here. So there we have shifted trade to the upside, which means our pullback now, we can literally say it has actually begun on EU. So EU, it's actually a swing buying. Who is drawing on my chart? Who is that one drawing on my chart? Let me just say about this. Okay. So that pullback that we have been on EU, it has begun as of March last around 20 March, like here, when that shift the downside happened, that was literally also a swing sell that you could have taken. A very simple trade, very, very simple trade idea. Personally, I don't trade EU, yes. But because of the skill, if some of you can actually be more serious, you literally realize that uh, most of these trade setups, you won't miss them if ever you have the skill. Most of these main, especially these swing positions, as well as the day-to-day positions that you'll be taking as well. So there, that was a simple swing trade actually. Imagine from 20 March, today is 20 April, one good month of holding cells, one good month of holding cells, and the structure was so clear and clean. That was an adjustment up. That was a break to the downside. After the break, all you do, you wait for the next adjustment. It was just very, nothing complicated, nothing even complicated, nothing complicated. Here, touch the fair value gap. That was a selling opportunity there. So imagine your first entry up there, your next entry just there. Very simple textbook trades, very simple textbook trades. Very simple textbook trades, very simple textbook trades. But you see, people are struggling to just take this simple trade like that. So that was the break. So eventually now they've done an adjustment like this, which this is a pullback into this area before our major continuation to this level here. So next week it's also a swing buying opportunity on Euro USD, of which here on the 8 hour they've already tapped this region here. Let's see 4 hour, if ever it is anything that is not there. 4 hour, they've also tapped the majority of the levels. The majority of the levels, how did you draw? So that's the thing. That's what we are looking forward to next week on Euro USD. It has actually shifted. This is the structure shift that I'm saying on GU. Wait for structure shift before you enter buys. This is what I'm talking about. If you just jump in before the structure shift, the market will use you as liquidity, it will use you as a lot of things and etc. etc. So that's just a simple idea. Simple current idea right now. So that's a leg there, that's a leg there as well. So here, this is now a leg. We are going up there to create a leg. As simple as that. So this is a simple, clear, straightforward buy, swing buy to the upside. They've tapped most of the levels here, so they might not even come all the way down there. Even here, if they touched here, let me see. I think they've also touched there. So this one, there's nothing wrong with you even buying immediately upon market open. The market will open around there, or you can put your stop loss just below here. Your major tip is going to be a swing trade, so you're holding for the entire week that buy. So this is one of the good trades as well that you can actually enter next week on Monday. Simple, straightforward, straight to the point. No need to complicate stuff. Hey, what? Hey, what? Hey, what? There's no need to talk about things that are irrelevant here. And also here I can see further confirmation on the 1 hour, which is this one, which is beautiful. That's a further confirmation. And if ever it's going to pull back now, okay, let me see something first before others start pumping positions here. You know, the other people who just start pumping in because you said it's gonna buy. Immediately upon the market opening, you see someone pumping in positions, which is so this this one is also a very good. That's actually one of the goodest buying levels that you can also wait for. That's one of the goodest buying positions you can wait for. That one would have ended on the tour, obviously, in as much as they will experience the drawdown, but ultimately, at the end of the day or at the end of the move, both of you, we anticipate all of you to be in profit. So that's the trade idea on. So this is the confirmation that I'm saying on GU. Wait for confirmation before you just jump in. Wait for confirmation before you just jump in. You don't just jump into trades, you don't just jump into positions. So here, most likely they can come into this because of this upside shift, then most likely, unless now they just want to, unless they now do another counter move, which is literally buying from there, then pulling back after, then going. That one is it's crazy because some people they still don't understand structure. So even if it creates another structure up there, just because I mark the level like this, if this market goes up here and creates a new structure up there, it will definitely keep on going up until it goes there, right? That's why it's a must. It's a must that you must have the skill. If you don't have the skill, you always be a victim to the happenings. Yeah, but here, based on here, what has happened, most likely they are coming there. So it's actually promising. It's actually a promising thing that they come into that region there, into that region. Yeah, they've wiped liquidity already. Those tails, that tail came to wipe there. This one came to wipe everything there. So we can literally say there was actually some sweeping of liquidity there already. So there is no need to. So most likely, that's our first major zone of anticipation, right? You can just wait for that. You can just wait for that on EU. Is there any price action to be added? Anything more? Anything more to be added there? Let me see. Anything more to be added? Nothing. There's nothing there. Nothing interesting to add. But this is basically the main idea. Swing buys on EU. Let's look at AU. AU almost a similar thing as well, because remember, these are just opposing the DXY. The DXY said most likely should wait for any further confirmation or just enter from the eye. The confirmations have happened already. If you don't need to, which further? The only further confirmation maybe that you might, if you are that person who wants further. The confirmations have happened already. If you want further confirmation, once it taps the zone, if you get 15-minute or 5-minute structure shift, yeah, maybe that will be the confirmation that you'll be wanting to see. There's nothing wrong with that as well. You can also wait for that if you want to wait. But some of us, because of the understanding that we have, we don't need to necessarily keep on waiting. There are confirmations that once they have happened, they would have covered a lot of ground, you understand? They would have literally covered a whole lot of ground. So EU now, let's look at EU from here, because this one I don't think I've fully given myself time to analyze it, because I don't trade it anyways. I don't necessarily trade it. So if you don't trade a pair, sometimes it's not even, unless you just want to perfect your skill by just looking at random pairs, blah blah blah. So they changed character to the upside. That was a major change to the upside like that. They did an adjustment to the downside. They did a break to the upside. Right. Let's see what EU is actually cooking there. Let's see what it is cooking. So they came back here to this level. They didn't break it. Okay. What is it trying to do? Has it finished its move already to the downside? Because if it has finished, definitely it will just pump up to the upside. But so far, this is the structure on the monthly. Let's go to the weekly. Let's see if there's any new information that is there to. On the weekly, you can see that they did take out the level. Let's look inside, because that's also one of the main analysis that you must have: the weekly analysis, the daily analysis, so that you know at least where are we heading, blah blah blah, etc., etc. So there, that was a simple zone like that. There we had a swing, lower high, lower low. That's a lower low. We did induce to the upside. Beautiful. We did pull back. And we also eventually shifted structure to the downside. That was a swing sell. It's like also AU. It seems like AU is actually ahead of if you compare the structure of AU to EU to GU. If you are trading those three pairs like that and you compare the three structures, you literally see that AU is sort of like ahead of those other two. AU is ahead, being followed by EU, and lastly being followed by, because this move on the what do you call this, on the EU, right? It has literally happened. We're just waiting for some pullbacks, blah blah blah. But on GU, it has just shifted structure to the downside. It has just shifted structure down, and we are waiting for a pullback before we continue with structure. So here they came, they tapped that region, but ultimately they were actually now falling to the downside. Simple breaks to the downside. Simple break. Let me put a break here. Simple break. Was that a break? That a break? So you see that they have been breaking structure. They've been breaking the laws. So just looking at this current weekly thing, we are obviously anticipating them to take this out, right? Just looking at the weekly structure, forgetting about what is on the monthly. Just looking at this, because they've been taking out the laws, the laws, the laws, the laws, the laws. So those were major selling opportunities starting from here, which was literally in 2022. Wow. 2022, they did a break pullback. After breaking here, they did a slight pullback. After breaking there, they did come back to pull back here. That was a serious one. They came back to the level, another sell again. So from there, you're targeting them to take out this. Just looking at that, understanding the rhythm that it has been moving at, you literally understand that it's literally falling to the downside. Right. So let's look at the daily. Let's see if ever there's any new developments there. Because if there's any new development, means there can actually be something that can actually be done, or can actually do something that can be done. Here they shifted structure to the upside, and here they also shifted structure to the upside. So let me see here. Shift, break, shift. They didn't break there. So here, they literally took this. Yeah, they look like they're coming for this law. This one and this one. They're coming for them. But before they come for them, most likely they can even give you a mini pullback. So that was a pullback into that area. Let me see. Here, that was a simple break, inside break here. So many. The thing is that's where you now are really tested of the skill when the market is presenting so many institutional structures within the main structure. So here it can even pull back into this extreme supply before the sell. So that's why I said it's almost a similar idea with what we have also there. So this one we can literally do this before we come to take this or this one. Then once you see structure coming to take even that whole level out, it means overall now something new would have begun, which will be the introduction of a whole new, obviously they will be coming to take out the highs, but for now, this is our current bias or current expectation. Current bias, current expectation. Let's see if ever structure has shifted already for the entry. Has structure shifted already for the entry? It looks like it hasn't shifted as yet. So if it hasn't shifted, you literally have to wait now, because here they are just playing, wiping out this, wiping out this. You can even someone can just say, I see a double bottom, I see the double bottom, so it's time to buy. No, that's not the idea. The idea is about shifting structure up there. If it doesn't shift structure up there, definitely you can actually enter impulsively without let me see if ever there's any developments here that are interesting. That's a break. So this is the level that they have to come and wipe out. So once you see this, then you can wait for a slight pullback before the swing buys. So that's it for GU, that's it for AU, that's it for EU. I believe just those three that I've mentioned will literally help you guys to really make good money next week, starting with EU, because it's the one that has shifted structure already to the upside. It's the one that has shifted structure already to the upside. I showed you that 1 hour level that you can literally wait for the market to come and tap. Once it taps there, if you need further confirmation, you can even go to 15M like this. Going to 15M, once they come into your region, like here, you can literally see that they did shift structure to the downside, whereby they were giving you this high, low, high, low. That was a high, that was a low, high. Then they shifted here to the downside. So literally they can come, even here, they can even come, break there, Once we do this, that will be the only confirmation that you'll be needing from a 15-minute perspective. Those that were asking for what confirmation should I look out for, you can just look out for something like this. Once they enter this region, once you see this, you strike those buys and you hold all the way, all the way, all the way. The major TP, obviously, this is a short-term TP. Once they come and take out this, you can just protect all your positions that you would have entered down there. But the main idea is people must master the art of entering when an institutional move is starting as well as exiting when an institutional move is ending. That's the highest level of mastery. And also that's the only way you can realize maximum profitability on the market. So guys, we are done for tonight. See you tomorrow. Tomorrow is what? Tomorrow is Sunday. We'll see if ever tomorrow we have time. We'll cover something else also that we didn't cover today. Have a wonderful, lovely evening.